Last episode, I showed you what Setu is, a six-agent research intelligence platform I designed from the scratch. I said that I'll cover the reactive flow evidence card and the proactive flow all in one video, but that was a little mistake. Because when I sat down to script this video or structure this video, I realized that each of these deserves its own breakdown. So today we are going deep onto just one thing, the reactive flow. Simply call it as the agentic chat. And I promise, if you design AI products or want to, this one worth your full attention. So, before I walk you through any of the screen, you need to know my design philosophy going into the Setu because every decision that I made came from this. Three words: simple, accessible, minimal. I didn't want Setu to feel like a dashboard. I didn't want a Chrome, gradients, or any unnecessary animation competing with the actual thinking happening on the screen. So I wanted the interface to get out of the user's way, basically. So structurally, site navbar, sources column clearly separated, chat integrated with the search, and center of the screen, which is inspired by the Gemini, and just the placeholder text, placeholder prompt, and the welcome message. Nothing else fighting for the attention. And yeah, color. I made a conscious call. No decorative color. Black for the CTAs, blues for the depth and animation states. That's it. Because usability comes before aesthetic, decoration can come later, but trust has to come first. Now, first screen the user sees. So I had two options. One, to show a blank state and ask them to connect sources later once they reach the default state, or handle source connection in the onboarding itself. So I went with second option, went with the onboarding, and here's why. Because Setu runs on a company's data. If you land on a chat screen with zero source connected, the AI has nothing to work with. So that's a broken first experience. So I front loaded it. Let users connect as many sources as they want before they ever type a query. So the default screen they land on after onboarding, that's what I'll show you now. Now, this is your starting state. Clean, placeholder prompt, pre-generated suggestion, as of now one already visible. And this is first intentional design decision worth talking about. Setu already knows what sources you have connected. So instead of showing generic prompts, it pulls out the topic from your sources and slot them into the prompt templates that it already has. Now, this isn't a UI nicety. This is a business decision. And how? In agentic AI, that every query costs credits, right? Every agent call, every retrieval step, that's compute. And as a designer, one of that lever I actually control is cost per task, CPT, a metric that most of designers never think about. So pre-generated, contextually aware prompts reduce bad queries. So that means fewer bad queries means fewer unnecessary agent loops or hallucinations. That's the money saved for the user and for the platform. So users enter a prompt, Setu takes a moment to analyze it. If the prompt is ambiguous, and most first time prompts are, instead of immediately firing all the six agents, Setu surface inline CTAs. Yes, the options right in the chat thread. Now, these aren't just UI conveniences, they are doing three things at once. One, reducing cognitive load. Two, acting as a decision guide for the first time users. And this is the part most people miss. They are narrowing the scope. So, Setu only generates one evidence card at the end, not five, just one, accurate, targeted, and cheaper to generate. As of now, I scoped it to one evidence card. We'll do more, but in future. As of now, just one, the accurate one. And here's where I took a small interaction risk inspired by the ChatGPT feature. Now these CTAs have a drop down built in. So instead of user going back and forth between clarifying questions, they can make their selections inline. Now one less round trip, less friction, less time taken, and fewer tokens. Smart. Now, here's where I need to be really honest with you because this is the kind of decision that lives in a gray zone, and I'm still not sure that I got it right or not. So, once the users select an option from the CTAs, those options disappear. Maybe you noticed in the prototype. They are gone from the chart thread as whole. So my reasoning to this is that if I leave previous options active and the user is now on the second or a third prompt loop, those old options are still clickable. And one click on a previous option becomes a massive context switch for Setu's agent. Now, the coordinator agent for Setu doesn't know if you are still in the same research task or starting a new one, and that's dangerous for the output quality as well. So I decided I removed, right? But here's what I'm skeptical about. Should I have left them visually present but disabled, like gray them out, or show the user like their past choices, create a trail? Because right now the chat has no memory of what the user chooses. No, actually they had a memory of what user chooses, but what are other options that got disappeared. And in agentic system, visible reasoning and visible memory are the core trust signals. And this is the exact tension every agentic UI designer faces, that manage context integrity versus give the user a sense of continuity. And I made a call, and I'm not 100% sure that it was the right one or not. Okay, so what are the actual takeaways here beyond just look at my prototype? It's not an interview round going on. Okay, fun. Design ideology before design decisions. Always. If you don't have a clear philosophy, accessible, minimal, trust first, whatever yours, every screen becomes a negotiation with yourself. Lock in your north star. Right. Two, business metrics aren't someone else's job. Cost per task, credit consumption, agent loop efficiency, these are influenced by the design. If you are designing agentic AI and you're not thinking about this, you are leaving value on the table. Three, inline CTAs in agentic chat aren't just UX sugar, they are architectural. They shape what the UI does next. Treat them like that only. And four, not every decision you make is right. The disappearing options that I'm still thinking about it, and that's okay. The job isn't to be certain, it's to be intentional and honest about your uncertainty. Before I go, I want to leave you with the same questions I am sitting with as of now. If an agentic system makes choices on your behalf and doesn't show you what it considers, do you trust it more or less? And if a designer removes a visual clutter to reduce the cognitive load, but in doing so also removes the user's sense of control, where does that trade off actually land? I don't have a clean answers, right? I have a prototype and set of decisions I am still pressure testing. But next episode, we go into the evidence card. And that one I think is the most interesting design problem in all of the Setu. 4 states, one card, a lot of writing on it. I want to see you there. Whatever I discuss as of now, if I feel that there needs to be a change, I'll change it and let you know that what changes I did in all this prototype and evidence card. Don't miss the next part and subscribe for that, and comment me below if you have any other options, not options, questions. If you have any other questions, great. So till then, stay safe, stay healthy, eat healthy. Namaskar.